have Shaina Gilbert, right? I pronounced that correctly, from Los Angeles, California. And we wanted Shaina to tell us a little bit about her background.
Okay, by the way, this is going to be like a powerhouse episode because this lady is a ball of fire. Been sitting with her, or standing with her rather, because she doesn't sit.
She cannot sit.
So we've been standing with her for a little bit of time before we started this podcast, and we wished we aired it earlier because she has so much to say. All right, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Which part of myself?
So start with
my muscles, or my previous jobs, or lifetimes before I became frum. Or
Oh wow!
Okay.
So no, we can't.
We're
do that. That is totally X-rated. Can't go there.
Okay.
Well, a little bit. Can you start from let's say,
how did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in LA, La Brea area.
Not religious.
My father, well, he said lips that touch pork would never touch his, but he ate snails. He did kiss my mother on occasion, and she ate pork, so I can't figure out what was going on there. That's where all the confusion started, I guess.
You went to public school.
Went to public school. We did go to Sunday school until we were confirmed at 16.
Just by the way, Shaina's doing yoga right now as we speak.
Stretching.
Stretching,
I don't
sorry.
Because I don't do the meditation kind of whatever stuff.
Yeah.
Thought I had to throw that in.
So it just so happens that whatever Sunday school we were going to happened to tell us some lies. Like when we were 15, I think we had a class that they were telling us about brachas. And they said that when you eat meat, there's a special one you say that recognizes that an animal died for you to eat it. Well, fast forward how many years, I found out that was not true. But growing up in the city, I had never realized that I was eating dead animals. So that's what turned me vegetarian. And learning about keeping kosher and separating meat and milk. I always wanted to be like my grandparents who were Orthodox, except maybe not to that extreme, because they lived in the days where they didn't know about Chalav Yisrael. They didn't know that they could use lights on timers. Maybe they didn't even have timers in those days. But we would go to their place on Shabbat, and I did love staring at the candles and always told myself I was going to have those when I grew up.
Wow. Wow.
On the other hand, the place was dark and the food was cold, and it was just, Orthodoxy was kind of weird. So
I feel like it probably was also more extreme back then. They didn't have what they have now. We have hot plates and Shabbat timers and all that.
No,
so
they kept their hot food hot in a bunch of cloths in just wrapped in towels and stuff.
So how did you become religious?
Well, I had always told myself I wanted those candles, and then after I graduated high school, I was I had some jobs in high school, but my first job after high school was as a lifeguard. Maybe this was after college. I don't know. I'm old, so my timeline maybe not be right, but at some point in time before I got married, so it was in the early 70s, I was a lifeguard at a pool, and I was reading Anne Frank on my break, and I thought to myself, well, Hitler did away with so many of us, and even though I never wanted to get married or have kids, I better do it for the tribe.
Wow.
So you never wanted to get married, have kids? That was never in your...
No. I was the biggest women's lib feminist, whatever.
Wow. And fast forward, how many kids do you have now?
5 kids and going on 21 poo grandkids.
Wow.
And I wouldn't trade any of them in for anything, especially my own kids, because they do such tzedakah. They're such good human beings.
Wow.
Every one of them.
Well, so actually when we were on a phone conversation prior to this, you mentioned something collecting money for someone. So that's another thing that you do on the side. Is that right? I guess your kids got that from you.
Yes. We're all in this lending and collecting and never getting paid back little rut in our life. They call it the GM gene. I call it the M gene, because the G, which is the Gilbert, which is me, I keep my tracks covered and I don't get myself into situations with money like that. Their father is my beloved husband is a little nicer and more free giving than me, and so he got that gene from them, not being able to say no. And he was a baby of the family. He got pampered. I don't think he was told no a whole lot.
So he can say that. Yeah. So can we just go back, just so we're following a sequence? So you became religious, and then when did you became religious? When you were in your Do you know when you're reading Anne Frank, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have kids.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
get
mean,
married.
I always wanted to be. I felt very guilty in college when my father would call me and say, don't work on Rosh Hashanah. And I'm thinking to myself, the guy eats pork. What, what is not working one day? I believe in God. I always believed in God. I always felt I had a really strong relationship with whatever God was.
Yeah.
So, and I did fast on Yom Kippur because I knew that was the most important thing to my dad. And I didn't eat bread on Pesach, but
So then what pushed you to...
they ate other chametz. It's just, life is full of fun contradictions. What pushed me over? So after college, I met Boaz in college, and we were inseparable friends. Wow. Did everything together, played, ate, you name it. We were always together.
That's so cute.
And we had decided, he wanted to get married from, I would say day one, but maybe it was after a few months. And I didn't want to get married. So we just...
We're together.
Friends.
Yeah.
Friends.
We're just friends. Very good friends.
And he was just as religious as you were at the time?
He was Lutheran.
Wow.
Except not practicing.
Wow.
The way we first met is that, so I was an athletic trainer. I worked with his brother and the brother's roommate because his brother was a football coach and his roommate was a football player. And I worked in the men's locker room fixing bodies. I was an athletic trainer. So he was with them downstairs.
So is this job number one? Because
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm
Shaina's been through...
No. And I worked for my dad since I was, old enough to file, the alphabet. We would file my dad's invoices, get a penny of paper for filing, and help my mother make entries in the, she kept hand cards on account cards for people. No, ever since I was old enough to make a buck, I'd make a buck because, except it was pennies when I started. Because I wanted money because we didn't have money and we were deprived of a lot of things that we thought normal kids should have.
Right.
So you worked for it.
So you worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after, so we can follow the time frame. So after being the body... You said you would work in men's locker rooms.
Well, I mean, my first job was at a photo booth. You don't even know what one is. You probably don't know what Instamatic cameras are. But yes, it was at a photo booth. People used to come to this little kiosk, turn in their film that needed developing, and we would have to write them up in an envelope, put it in, and send it off. And then they would come back a week or two later to pick up their prints. The prints, yeah. And in those days, you couldn't delete. You might get a whole rollback of
nothing.
Sun destroyed, whatever.
Yeah, I actually remember. I used to go to Walmart
Yeah.
and print those disposable cameras from camp, and I was so excited to see this whole beautiful set of
They were all
pictures,
messed up.
and every single one had a yellow streak through it. That was
That would kill you today. By
Oh
the
my
way.
gosh,
That was my very first job, and because that was the summer before high school. And then in high school, I worked for a friend's parents' laundry, which I loved because I'm really OCD, and they taught me how to put laundry in such beautiful piles. I just had cleared mine upstairs before you came in. I would show you what beautiful piles of laundry I can fold.
And you got to learn.
Anyway, I love doing anything that makes things neat and clean and fixes things up.
Okay, so today you want to tell us what you're involved
And
in today?
the way I got into fixing bodies was my first day of college. I was playing basketball. I was playing intramural sports, and I was playing basketball, and I grabbed a rebound, came down, and somebody else that wanted the rebound landed on my foot, and I turned to run down the court with the ball and twisted my knee.
Oh my gosh.
So I spent my whole first year of college in agony because I didn't know what to do about it.
Wow.
And I was in the training room getting treatments because they had free treatments there. And I liked what the trainer was doing. He was fixing people's bodies. Yeah. So I like to fix things. So I started volunteering to help, and I did that for many years. I don't know if I ever got on the payroll there at UC Riverside, but he gave me a great recommendation. And then this is the first big hashgacha pratis thing in my life. When I got the job after college so my husband's father was a city manager. They needed lifeguards at the pool. I couldn't save a person in the pool. It was drowning if you paid me. But I had to take a lifeguarding class, so my husband took it with me, and he made himself float so it looked like I was carrying him across the pool so that I could get that job.
So you get that certification.
This is the extent of things that Mr. McNabb would do for me.
That is so cute.
That's really cute.
So we got to, because I figured I was never lifeguarding alone, and I have sharp eyes and I'm very good at looking out for potential dangers. That's my forte. Mm-hmm. So I got this job as a lifeguard, but I had already known him. I knew him in college. So what's the next question?
So when was
Where are we going
at what
with
point
this?
did you get married?
So we got married the year we were lifeguarding after college, because I said he wanted to get married. I said, we have to have $100 in dimes. From when we met, we started saving dimes. I figure if we have a savings account just for our dimes, it's $100. Imagine how well we'll do with money the rest of our life.
Are you joking? Or?
And Baruch Hashem, we have. I'm not joking. We still have the dimes account.
No way, that's so
forward,
cute.
we use it to pay for brisim and kiddushes for the grandkids.
So you just put like dimes.
It had a few other things, like anything I inherited from anything we inherited from people that died, we put in that account. It's our tzedakah
It's like you're
account.
saving.
It's a tzedakah account.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But we never spend a dime to this day. 50 some years later, we do not spend our dimes. We put them in that account.
Wow, very nice. Okay, so
so
you get married.
We couldn't get married before we had $100 in dimes and before both of us graduated college.
So then once you both graduated.
So I was a year ahead of him because I'm a year and a half older. So once he graduated, then I said, we had the $100. I couldn't say no anymore. It had been 4 years of him asking.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So then we got married in 77. We met in 73.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should we fast forward to now?
Yeah.
What you're up to, what you're involved in the community? Because as some of you may know, Shaina, I have her saved on my phone, Shaina Pizza Station.
Yeah, me too. That's funny.
and my grandkids call me Bubby Pizza and Bubby Backpack and
Backpack.
Bubby Bicycle. Okay.
So we know that we only know a little tiny bit of what Shaina does, which is Pizza Station and SHMIRA.
Right.
SHMIRA is basically a it's like a Jewish public watch of Los Angeles.
Community. It's a volunteer community safety patrol.
Right. So first take us through Pizza Station. How did that happen?
Another hashgacha pratis. Wait, what was the first one I was telling you about? Not the dimes, not the...
You were a teacher, an athletic trainer.
Oh, how I got the athletic training job.
Okay.
Oh my God, we were lifeguarding. Am I allowed to say the word God? Sorry.
Yeah.
We were lifeguarding, and one of the other lifeguards was the assistant trainer at Mount San Jacinto College. He came to me and he said, I heard you were a trainer at UC Riverside. I said, yes. He said, well, I want to go in the nursing program. Now, this is a guy wanting to go in the nursing program. He says, would you take over my job as assistant athletic trainer?
Wow.
I said,
Sure.
oh, yes. So I did.
Wow.
And then while I was there, a few months later, the head trainer moved on somewhere else, and the school asked me for my qualifications, and I gave them, that I had worked in, and gave them the references, and they hired me as, I think I'm the first full-time head athletic trainer, female, in the country.
Wow.
There were lots of others that were athletic trainers for women's things or for this or for that, but not for men's sports. So this school had, I think, 7 men's sports and 3 women's. So that was the first hashgacha pratis in my life, that a man wanted a nursing job and I wanted his job, and
You guys switched
it just
roles.
fell in my lap.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone knows this, but like you bike everywhere. I didn't know this either, but you bike everywhere. Is that right?
I bike everywhere that I want to get to on my own. If it's some place that the family needs me at, then I will take a ride from anyone that'll give me, or if there's a shear somewhere that I want to hear, I'll hook up with somebody.
You also do a picket ball. What's it called? A something ball class? What's that called?
I
You
don't
have like
take any classes because I don't like spending money. I like saving it with my husband.
You do that, the one that you were telling me over the phone, racquetball? You do a class at the park.
No, I play softball, a pickup softball game. Pickup softball game.
Pickup
softball.
softball.
Okay, whatever. Pickup softball game.
And
You're very active. We're not going to ask how old you are.
I'm 71. I don't,
wow.
I am what I am.
Wow. Okay.
I can never understand why people are like, you are what you are. You can't hide it. I've got the wrinkles. Why not say how old I am?
But you definitely have all this energy. So like,
I eat very healthy. It's been since I turned vegetarian. I did it wrong for about a couple of years in high school. because I was at home and I didn't have enough of my own money to do it right. But I started reading books about it, and when I was on my own and had my own money, I would only eat, stuff that I want to put in my body, what's going to help it, not what's going to help destroy it. I mean, age as it is, age and time have their destructive ways with your body, so why help it along?
Absolutely.
It's like why helping Hitler along by marrying a non-Jew.
Okay, so we see a lot of your energy through all your work. Tell us a little bit about SHMIRA, and how did you get into that?
It started with the athletic training job. I've always wanted to be in professions that help people, that save people, that prevent, because athletic training is more about prevention than anything else. You have to watch players playing a game, tell the coaches if you think something's dangerous, and you have to see if somebody has signs of, say, heat stroke or something before it happens, before they're down on the field.
Got it.
So I went from, when I couldn't do that anymore, I went to volunteer firefighting because it was available in the community I was in. They didn't discriminate against women. And we got paid. We were paid volunteers. If we showed up at a call, we had beepers. We showed up at a call. We got paid $5 whole, no matter how long that call took.
Oh my gosh.
But it was in a service-oriented profession. All the things I want to do are always male-dominated, unfortunately. Although I'm very happy to say that I still get the Athletic Training magazine. I'm a retired member of the Trainers Association, and it's gone real woke. They have their quotas. It's actually more female than male now.
Wow.
Because it's a perfect profession for women, like nursing is a perfect profession for women. We are better at certain things. Nurturing is one of them.
Yeah.
And it's a totally nurturing profession.
So you were a volunteer firefighter.
Yes.
What did that mean? That mean?
Well, they loved me because I wouldn't answer my beeper. My beeper was off on Shabbos. By that time, Boaz and I were trying to keep Shabbos. It was in a community where there was no community, only a Reformed temple. But I answered every call I got on Sundays, and they were all at church on Sundays. It was a perfect fit.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah, I mean, there were no other Jews there.
So after that, you...
So then from the firefighting, then my next job was, we moved from this little hokey town.
Which was the town?
It was San Jacinto.
Okay, California.
But while we were there, so then when I had to stop firefighting because I forget why I had to forget.
You probably had children.
Well, no, I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant with my second one. I mean, I already had Panina, our oldest. They didn't even find out I was pregnant until the 8th month with the second one because my gear that they gave me was for men. It was way oversized.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think it was in my 9th month, I wouldn't go on a call that, because I do have asthma, I wouldn't go on a call that it was a lot of smoke.
Oh, a minute. So you were 8 months pregnant.
Yes.
With asthma.
With asthma. Going
Outdoor
as a firefighter woman.
So I would have gone in an indoor fire with my oxygen mask on, even though you have to crawl on your belly, because I was still doing yoga positions on my belly in my 9th month. But
as a firefighter.
Guys, she was 8 months pregnant. We complain that we can't walk. 9 months.
Wow.
And you were going in to rescue people.
I only gained 20 pounds with each kid. I never got
I know.
over 100.
Wow.
Oh, you're very petite. You're small, yeah.
No, I'm not petite. That's a big misconception about me. I'm not, none of my measurements are petite. I am short, squat. Nothing is petite.
Okay.
Just get that straight.
Oh, okay. You look very petite to me.
No, I have trouble because I wear normal size on my body, but the arms are too long, the legs are too long, so I only wear hand-me-downs. I will not buy a stitch of clothing. I take hand-me-downs and chop them up and make them fit me. So anyway, so the firefighting, how did that morph into? Then I started working at a racquetball club because I could do that with multiple kids. There was childcare there. I was teaching weightlifting, yoga,
9 months pregnant,
and racquetball. I think did we have the third kid when I was still working there? I don't remember, but then somehow when the oldest one got to be 3, we had always said we were going to give them an Orthodox education. We didn't know what that meant, but we knew we wanted our family to stay straight away Jewish and not straight. Right. And when our daughter was 3.5, we found out, the Reform shul we belonged to had visitors from Palm Springs. namely Rabbi Dennebaum came. And he saw that we wanted something more than we were getting there. And I think at that point, I think we met him when Penina was 3.5, and Boaz had 2 conversions, but not the real one. I was always interested in making Aliyah. So he had to have a Orthodox conversion. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this stuff publicly, but whatever. So he started working with Rabbi Dennebaum on a real conversion because he knew that was something that was always
important.
We weren't going to go on much longer. And we had gotten to a point, actually, when he was learning with Rabbi Dennebaum, at one point, Rabbi Dennebaum told me he was ready. And he didn't feel he was ready. And I said, I'll go like 3 months more. Either we split up and I'm taking Penina and we're moving to Israel.
Wow.
Or you jump in the water. You've been learning for this. You're happy with this lifestyle. Just do it.
Wow. Did he know of Judaism before? Like this is...
Well, one of the things that attracted him to me, besides my really cute athletic body in college, was the fact that he liked the smell of the foods coming out of our apartment because I was a traditional Jew. I would make matzo ball soup for Pesach. We would make whatever. I didn't do challah till after we got married. I wasn't interested in really potchky things. The matzo ball soup mixes are easy to...
Yeah, they're easy enough.
Potato pancakes, things like that. He would... His brothers would always send him up to my apartment to tell us to shut up because my roommate and I were always dropping weights on the floor, playing badminton upstairs, and just making a big racket. So the more he visited, the more he liked what he was seeing up there. So that's how we got interested. And then he finally, I think it was when Penina was 4 or 5, he finished. And so, of course, within 9 months, we have baby number 2.
You're following the traditional Orthodox route, right?
Yeah. So
wait. So what got you into? I think we were leading up to this. What got you into SHMIRA? Volunteering for it. It's because of all your background.
My jobs had to change when we became Orthodox. My jobs had to severely change. So I started teaching. PE. Preschool first for Desert Torah Academy in Palm Springs. I needed employment. I'm not sitting home. And that was a place I could bring my kids to while I teach. Right. And then as the kids got it, that school started from a preschool group. And as they got older, they needed a PE teacher. So then I got to teach PE, even though I never finished my credential year. But I did take a credential year, but I never did the test because jobs kept flying at me right and left that I was interested in. So figure what schooling if you can have the job you want.
Okay.
I had my degree.
So at what point did you open a pizza station?
Okay, so here comes the more hashgacha pratis. So as the girls are getting older, we only had girls at that point, and then in 1990 Herschel was born, and so the girls were all in Desert Torah Academy, or the little ones were coming with me just to teach. And we had always said if the education goes down, because Penina, our oldest, was brilliant, only kid for 5 years, she's soaking up all your knowledge. She's an adult, she's not a kid, Yeah. And when she was in 7th grade, they combined 4 through 7, and we said, we're out of here. There's no way you can consider that a quality education. So we sent her to Long Beach. She was miserable being in a house where they eat meat and just so totally different from our house. And she was so miserable and would come home crying every weekend. And we said, we got to make a move.
So you moved here to Los Angeles?
Yeah. And so so we moved here, and about the only people we knew were Shoshana Plotkin and Miriam Fishman. I call her Fishwo. Miriam Fishwoman. She was my first mikvah lady, and she's the one that really instrumentally made us into Makarav does. Wow. That's what you call it. Because she had us over for Shabbos, and she knew we weren't going to move quickly, but she would just needle. Yeah. We wrote letters to each other. There was no cell phones. We would talk on a regular phone or call each other. When are you coming into LA next? We want to have you again.
Because once you officially moved,
she knew that we were committed. We just weren't ready yet. Wow. And so, the credit for being from totally, Dennebaum's and Fishman's.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were going to say this hashgacha pratis regarding the pizza station.
Okay, so we moved here.
Like, can we just talk about Pizza Station for a minute? Like,
Yeah.
Pizza Station.
Well, the whole way we got Pizza Station is unbelievable. I mean, it's
Wait, you created Pizza Station?
Oh no!
Oh no.
No. So we moved to LA.
Yes.
From living in a place where it's $3,000 for tuition to a place where it's $10,000 for tuition.
Yeah.
The housing prices, everything, we couldn't afford it here.
Yeah.
Like we were dying. We ended up emptying all the kids' accounts, the savings accounts, and we taught them to save from when they were 2, from when we gave them chores.
Wow.
We had to empty all their accounts just to pay rent, just to pay tuition. And we kept track of how much we owed them. And fast forward, after we got Pizza Station, we paid them all back, every penny.
So it was a business that was there before you came.
It was there, Shlomo.
Same
Shlomo,
name?
a little Israeli guy named Shlomo, owned it. And what happened was, you're too young to know any of this. There was a little place called Sweet Lila. They opened up a soft serve.
Oh, ice cream? Okay.
Soft serve ice cream is the first like soft serve on our end of town. They always had one in the Barton's candy store on Fairfax, but never had one on this side. And it was wildly popular, but it didn't go. But my daughter had a summer job there. Her job was with this soft serve machine, which they're hell to take care of.
Yeah.
Like absolute hell to take care of. Anyway, so when they went down, Shlomo from Pizza Station bought the machine, and he asked Panina to come show him how to do it. And so she worked a summer job for him there, and then she went off to seminary. And he came to me one day and said, I haven't seen my parents in 10 years. I finally got my green card, so I can go and come back. He gave me a few things to do at Pizza Station, like pay the paychecks, take care of the register at the end of the night, and, just open and close. And I could do that with the kids. So then we were having such a horrible time trying to make a living here. While I was there, I saw that every night they were throwing away the salad bar, the leftovers from the salad bar. So I started taking them home. I couldn't communicate with him to ask him, but I figured he wouldn't care.
He's throwing it away anyways.
Yeah. So when he came back, I said, can I keep working here for closing so you can get home to your family in the valley? I'll close, and you let me take home all these leftovers.
Wow.
So, and our kids got so sick of seeing styrofoam boxes after they never wanted anything from that salad bar after we bought it. They never wanted to see a styrofoam box.
Because you ate it probably like every night for dinner.
Yeah, that's all we had. That's what we were living on. Wow. Literally living on that. And there was a Dove's Bakery. We got day-old stuff from Dove's Bakery, so we could actually give them treats because they were like 50 cents for a Danish or less, even less.
Wow.
So then when did you guys...
So then he saw that I liked working there, and my husband lost his job in San Jacinto. So also I was here as a single mom all week.
Wow.
My husband was home on Fridays. He came home early Friday, and then he would leave to go back Sunday night or Monday morning. So I'm alone with 5 kids, newborn. When we moved here, we had the youngest one. And no food, no money. His salary could only go so far.
Right.
I had started teaching right away PE at BCM. Then he lost his job, which was another hashgacha pratis because my mom had cancer. She lived right next door. I could take care of her and do these part-time jobs, and we could have food from Pizza Station. And he started helping me do the closing thing.
Right.
And
You only got onto this job for closing. You didn't take over the job at that point.
Oh, no. I don't know. And he kept asking. He never wanted to be in pizza. He got it by accident, if there's no accidents. They used to be next to Jewish Family Service. It was called Kosher Pizza Nosh. He was a silent partner. Mm-hmm. The other man, his name was Izzy something. I don't know his last name. He ran the restaurant. A Jewish Family Service got arsoned. The fire went over and ruined the restaurant.
Oh, no.
And Izzy backed out and said, you can rebuild it and have the whole thing. He didn't want a restaurant. And right about then, Michelin's was moving to Las Vegas, or getting out of Michelin's, the place where Pizza Station is now. So he said he's going to start over in a new, nice, clean place.
At that point, was Nagila open? Was there any other?
Nagila was, and Kosher Nostra, which is now Pizza World.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there was only 3.
But he had a salad bar with like a Sephardic kind of like rice and beans. I don't know what that stuff is called. I love
like salatim.
So I was there. I wanted that leftover rice and beans and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And Yeah, so that's how he ended up with it. He never wanted it. His family lived in the valley, and he wouldn't get home till the kids were in bed. And so the more he saw that we needed him, he kept begging us to buy it from him. And I never wanted a restaurant. I kept saying, no, no, no. Boaz always had wanted a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
And he said, so take it. Just please take it. And we said, we don't have the money to buy it. And he said, I'll loan it to you. Don't pay me until you can.
Wow.
I can make money in construction. I'm not worried about an income. Just please take it from me.
Wow.
So he lent us money. And then we called Boaz's brother and asked if he could loan us. And he said, how much do you need? And I cashed out all my retirement from the college, from the real jobs I had in life that had retirement.
Yeah.
So I lost my, from waiting, you get more if you wait until you're actually retired. Yeah. I cashed that out, and we had a loan from him. And then we asked Boaz's brother, he said, how much do you need? And we told him, and he said, Mom always said it tastes better when you share. I'm just sorry I can't get it to you for 3 days because I won't release that amount in less than 3 days. That's what kind of family he comes from.
Wow.
So, and all his siblings are like that.
Wow.
Just
That's
giving,
amazing.
giving. Yeah. So, we got the loans and we took it over. We worked with Shlomo for a little bit till we felt we had the reins, and then
you guys took it over.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's changed quite a lot since then.
The Mexican.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
They're-
Mexican.
No,
baskets,
he had the
burritos.
Mexican. He had all that. We added whole wheat. We added the healthy stuff. We added the yummies. Because in the years when people were on the Atkins diet, they were ripping everything off their pizza and throwing away the crust.
Oh, no.
So I said to Shlomo, why don't we just make a veggie bake?
Yeah.
So I invented the veggie bake because I want people to eat healthy.
By the way, no, people who don't know what the veggie bake is, the yummy, that's what we always get. It's so good.
What is it?
The yummy?
So the yummy was his. It's this focaccia bread that you slice open and you load it up with all. It's like a folded over pizza.
Yeah.
Yum.
So when people for years were asking for stuffed crust and I wouldn't do it, I said, why do you want a stuffed crust if you can have a whole stuffed pizza? It's ridiculous. Anyway, so we added a bunch of healthy stuff and more choices and different sizes of things because I don't like people to spend money they don't want to spend. We added small versions of almost everything, family packages, things like that.
Wow.
So can we go into the
SHMIRA?
the SHMIRA aspect and
Yeah.
so a little bit about
sometime. So meanwhile, I'm teaching at Beis Chaim Mushka for 32 years. I just retired from there this year, and
32 years.
I mean, I just retired from there 3 weeks ago, actually. But
oh my gosh.
I was always teaching. At one point before we had Pizza Station, I had 4 different schools: Oriel Yahoo. Gan Chabad. I was doing PE everywhere because it's just a very part-time thing, and we needed the money. And Boaz was without a job, so I was running all around doing all kinds of things. And he was trying to get contract work in the field he was in, but by that time he had this beard and the tzitzis and everything else, and people weren't.
They didn't want that.
The euphemism that he was getting was, we need a better fit.
Right.
But it was prejudice because he had plenty of qualifications for every job he ever applied for. Anyway,
So the reason why I keep going back to SHMIRA is
because I know.
Yeah,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
I just want to tell everyone listening just a little bit of the SHMIRA was very involved with what happened. A lot of you heard about what happened on Pico Robertson, about the whole
on June 23rd.
on June 23rd with all the protesters standing outside a big Jewish synagogue, Adas Torah, and there were fights that broke out, and Shaina was there firsthand, witnessing and involved throughout the whole thing.
Okay, so if you'll put up with one more Hashgacha Pratis
Yes.
story. Okay, so this guy Shlomo, that when he wanted us to take over, we had bought this house with my parents' help. It was a shambles from an earthquake.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, you can't live in that. I said, we're living in it.
Was
it's
this like in
it's a roof over our head. And he said, but I'm in construction. He said, you take over the restaurant. I'll fix your house up for you. No money at all. We went to work at Pizza Station, both of us. And me part-time because I was at Beis Chaim Mushka, and Boaz full-time. And he fixed our house up for us. It's a beautiful 2-story.
That's so nice. Wow.
So that was the end of. So then I'm part-time at BCM and part-time at Pizza Station, and Boaz is full-time at Pizza Station. And my customer, I guess, Avi Gordon. No, first it was Kenneth Lowenstein. He was Kenneth Lowenstein started SHMIRA here.
Yeah, he moved, right? He moved.
Yes.
Right.
So I knew him as a customer, and my niece, who was living with us then, was stuck with their family. She loved their family, was helping them and learning from them, about being frum, because nobody in my family is religious. And it was like a win-win to everybody for knowing Kenny's family. Yeah. And I saw what he was doing, and I said, hey, do you take women? And he said, sure, why not? So I signed on. So
can I just say, also, I basically I think it was like 5-6 years ago, and I came to my house and the door was open and I heard someone upstairs. So I call SHMIRA, and guess who comes to my door? It was Shaina. And I was so surprised. I'm like, a woman is coming to protect me. And then I see like Shaina go up there. Who is it? I'm gonna go.
Not just any woman. I know they get mad at me because I'll run out to a call alone, and they say, you can't go, you have to wait for backup. I go, I'm 71. If I die, I die. I led a good life. I'm saving my community.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So then
you joined SHMIRA with Kenny. So my brother-in-law is Daniel Brahm, and he is also
part of SHMIRA.
Yes.
Oh, Daniel Brahm.
Yes.
Daniel Brahm is the face of SHMIRA. He's the sweetest, kindest.
I agree.
I'd rather be on a call with him than anybody else. I hope I don't insult anybody else, but he has very good people skills. He's very tactful.
Yeah.
He's very gentle.
Okay, tell us all a little bit about SHMIRA. Like, what is it that you do? If you get on a call, what is it they expect you to do? It's kind of like a Hatzalah car. You're jumping into the car.
No, it's not Hatzalah. Hatzalah deals with medical emergencies.
Right, but in the framework, like you're jumping into a car, running to a scene, like ADAS, for example. I'm sure they called you in, right?
When we know that there's a potentially volatile,
dangerous situation
event going on in the community, we offer our services as backup to the already existing, because we are not allowed to carry weapons. Mm-hmm. A lot of us have weapons, and some have permit to carry them, and so those people can carry them. Mm-hmm. But most of us don't have permits for the weapons we own. Mm-hmm. And our official duty as SHMIRA volunteers is to observe and report, to de-escalate anything we feel we can de-escalate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, take us to ADAS. What date was that?
June 23rd, you just said.
June 23rd. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So
we knew this event was going to happen, and we have checked.
So I kept hearing about this event, and I don't know why I didn't take it so seriously. And then the day of comes, and then the night before, people are like, "Oh, just be careful, don't go on Pico that day." So then I'm like, okay, I wasn't so worried about it. And then the day of, I hear helicopters and screaming. I heard it from my house, screaming.
So
when
people
were
wasn't
getting
screaming.
Pepper sprayed.
It's probably not screaming you were hearing. I mean,
it was like chanting.
First of all, it was chanting. Okay. Yes. So there's I have a problem with most Jewish communities is that they live out of fear. Yeah. Instead of enabling themselves to protect themselves, they read things, they assume things, and they react out of fear. Uh-huh. These protests
it's like
in
PTSD.
general.
I feel like we all have PTSD from the Holocaust. So it's like anything that happens that you hear about is like, oh, so before the Holocaust happened, we
used to have a pit bull and a Rottweiler. People wouldn't come to our house because in their family it was handed down that these German shepherds were doing what they were doing in the Holocaust. Right. So you could say it's an unfounded fear of dogs, but
no,
it was inbred. It's inbred in the Jewish people,
right?
Because that's what was used to track them down for so many years.
But I'm curious to know, right now, are we exaggerated with our fear? I don't think so.
People were definitely exaggerating with their fear.
Yeah. Right now, are we exaggerating our fear?
Okay, so first of all, I'm supposed to give a big disclaimer that nothing I say is SHMIRA's
words,
ideology, theories. I believe there's a lot of overreaction. I see this in a lot of the calls that I hear. I'm not talking about just SHMIRA calls. I know there are other agencies that if there's a black person walking down the street, it gets called in as a suspicious person. Mm-hmm. What is suspicious about them? That they're black. No, that's not suspicious. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The behavior has to be suspicious.
That's the way they're acting.
Okay, if they're taking pictures of synagogues, that warrants checking out, so SHMIRA will go to stuff like that. But people completely freak out. I know that I've worked in security at Beis Chaim Moshka. My son, Herschel, had, Beis Chaim Moshka as his base job with Maganam for this year. And, we both look through, we like to say, objective lenses.
Right.
We don't live with paranoia. I guess it's because we've fought adversity all our life and feel confident in saving our own if necessary.
Right, which is very important. Also, I feel like we should all have the skills like to protect ourselves, but also
People need to have weapons in their home, I believe, because I don't believe that the police. It's not the police. The police can only do what they're ordered to do.
Right.
Which is why
which is very little here in California.
Right. Right.
Unfortunately, it
so
is.
So people, I heard so much police bashing after that day. It wasn't their fault.
They can't do anything.
They can't do anything without an order from their superior.
Right, their hands are tied.
Exactly. And I'm also...
And it takes away protection from them, too. It's like they're less protected, too.
Well, but at least they're geared up and they don't have to get gassed if they have masks on and stuff.
Right.
We were totally unprepared for... And
did you think it was going to get as bad as what happened on Sunday?
I don't think it got as bad as what people think.
Really?
I'll tell you what I saw. I saw chanting. I mean, sure, these slogans are ugly. They're absolute lies about Israel. But these people came to make a point. They came to try to stop the event that was happening inside. The back door was open the whole time. I was escorting people personally into the event through the back gate.
What back gate? Is this from...
Like, yes. They had armed security inside, and all I had to do was knock, knock, Shaina Pizza, and they would open the door.
Shaina Pizza.
Knock, knock, Shaina Pizza. I have a customer for you, and they would open the door and let them in. Anybody that really wanted to get there could have found the way. They weren't stopping anything, but they wanted to make their point. Okay, now I'm not supposed to say anything negative about our Jewish community, so I think I have to stop here because
right. I feel like you're trying to hold.
The only
off
thing
on
I want to say
saying
is
things.
one. I feel like if a lot of Jewish people didn't show up,
nothing would have happened.
Nothing.
Zero
Would have happened.
Zero would have happened.
We didn't accomplish anything.
I mean,
Right?
I learned a lot from the experience. Like, I think the best thing we could have done, we owned all the businesses on those streets. We could have gotten on the rooftops and drowned them out with Am Yisrael Chai, music. Yeah. We could have had Israeli flags waving everywhere, not put any of us in harm's way.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody
a lot of these
had
people
to be
are just
in harm's
paid
way.
to be there. They just want to be there, do their job, and leave.
There were people coming with their kids in strollers just to see what was going on.
Yeah. And that, first of all, that's dangerous. And second of all, it was for nothing. Like, they're not helping improve the situation.
If anything, they call for backup. They call, look, all these Jews are here. Come, help us. We need more
If
Palestinians.
they wanted to show Jewish
that?
solidarity, there were many other ways to have done that in an organized fashion, in a safe fashion.
Why were there texts going around saying that we should be there? We should.
I don't know
I have
which text.
no idea.
I don't know which text, because even Rabbanim that I spoke to, they said you shouldn't.
And Bela Ram, who's in charge of that public safety, I don't know if you're on the public safety chat group. They were all saying, don't show up. Don't come. We don't want this to turn into anything in our community.
Like, I honestly, truly believe, and I feel like Shaina could agree on this, if no one showed up, nothing would have happened. They would have went home an hour, 2 hours later.
Like, you're starting
Enough police were there to make sure that we were safe, that whoever wanted to go to the event was safe. There was plenty of volunteer community patrol and community
so I feel
armed patrol.
We have people listening from all over, and I feel like take this as a lesson. Don't let it get as bad as it happened here. Like, as you don't have to
defend yourself against false accusations. It's like that in anywhere you go in life. If somebody's screaming lies at you, thumb your nose. Why get involved? Why put anybody in harm?
Okay, besides for this whole Adas affair, like, I'm just curious to know your take on anti-Semitism in general.
Like,
are you experiencing any of that?
Personally, no. I see a lot of it posted on WhatsApp groups because, we have to know what's going on in the community. So I'm in groups that will post things that happen. But I know it's also inflated. It's very much inflated because the people that need to protect us need funds to protect us. So I said that. That's the worst I'm going to say on this podcast.
I need to. Okay, I have to register what you just said. Okay, all right.
I can tell you that I know for a fact that incidences are misunderstood.
Or over-exaggerated.
Over-exaggerated,
Rated?
No, what's it called when you keep... Yes, I believe it's very important that anytime you think something anti-Semitic happened, if you see graffiti, anti-Semitic graffiti, report it as a hate crime. Anything, any slur you get directed at you, car driving by saying something, yes, it should be reported.
So let's
as a
do
hate
this while
crime.
you're doing this right now. What advice, as a SHMIRA member, you've been involved with this, what advice do you give us as families in the community if an anti-Semitic thing happens? It's obviously don't fight back. Don't-
Report it, because there's a whole section now of the police department where they have dedicated for calls or emails from for hate crimes, for that
So report
constitutes
it.
a hate crime.
Okay.
Absolutely report it, because we
Even
get,
if they can't trace this person, it's not
it,
that.
it
That's not the
doesn't,
fact.
no matter how understaffed the police are, they put their people where the most reports are coming from. They have to, or else there's going to be trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
And then obviously don't engage, right?
Don't engage.
Don't
No
engage.
matter what, don't engage. Call
pointless.
SHMIRA, call. You have plenty. There are so many agencies here to help you. Don't try to do it yourself.
Have you ever been in a situation where it was like very dangerous for you?
Well, that one on June 23rd turned very dangerous. I have asthma and I got gassed.
Wow.
I was choking for about 15 minutes. I actually thought I was going to die.
Was that intentional from another?
from
No,
the
I
police.
went with a
Yeah.
partner to stop a scuffle, and somebody in the scuffle, we don't even know who. There was, 10 people by that time
Oh my
in
gosh.
this little brawl, and up went a cloud of God knows what, and we all went.
Was it from the
scattering.
police or was it just someone?
No, the police weren't doing anything yet. They didn't have their orders yet to do anything.
Okay.
So they were just standing and observing.
someone else
Oh
did
my
that.
God.
They weren't right there where that had happened.
And you have asthma, you mentioned.
I have asthma, yes, and gas is not good for your lungs under any circumstance,
Yeah.
especially if you have asthma.
Wow.
Wow.
So, okay.
So I was seriously choking,
Oh
and throwing water everywhere I could throw it, and then spitting it back out because my eyes were streaming, and yeah.
Wow.
I had been accidentally gassed a little bit before when I was trying, learning how to use pepper spray. By the way, the biggest tip I can give anybody is never use pepper spray.
Really?
Yes,
Why is that?
because 9 out of 10 times there's a breeze wherever you are, it's going to go back in your own face.
Oh.
I got a security
You-
guy.
you-
No, so I don't have pepper spray anymore. I went to get
They
passport
sell
and they
gel.
made me throw it away.
They sell gel, and it's a straight stream.
Oh, wow. I
the
didn't know
gel.
that.
Yes, you should practice your aim because you need
Someone
a
was
better
telling
aim.
me, the security guy from ADT, I got a security guy to come look at my home. And then he's like, honestly, the best security you could do is keep a bottle of Raid or that thing.
Wow.
And he's like,
Really?
just
But
spray
see,
it.
even
and
with
then-
Raid, I would die of asthma if
of
I
the-
sprayed the Raid. The spray gets all over. It doesn't just get your
He's like, keep it by your bed. So that's what he was saying.
Oh,
I'm like,
my husband and I keep a leaded baseball bat by our bed.
Oh,
And
wow.
my gun.
oh my gosh.
All right.
I
Wow.
think
That
we've
was very
learned so
moving.
much from you, Shaina, and we also want to say thank you for all that you do in our community, and
Yes.
we want to thank all the SHMIRA members because they really put themselves out
Yeah.
there in any situation.
At risk.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they do. And I'm one of the wusses of the group because I shut off my phone at 10 and don't put it on again until 4 in the morning.
But they get calls at all hours.
They
regarding-
get calls
yeah.
at all hours, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'll answer at 4 when they're all sleeping, but
You do the 4 a.m. shift.
I will do anything but between 10 and 4.
10 and 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have
So-
to have some family time and some
No, it's important that you have to you prioritize.
downtime.
Yeah,
Yes.
some
If I
downtime.
don't sleep, I might do something not approved by SHMIRA on a call.
We're very impressed with you, Shaina.
Thank you so much, Shaina, for your
time.
time. And it was
By the way, I need to use this to plug for donations to SHMIRA.
Oh, yes.
Because we live off of donations, and
Okay.
radios cost money. Batteries for the radios cost money. Our own protection stuff costs money. Even
so we'll put the link to donate directly in our podcast. Please, guys, any donation helps.
we don't waste money. We don't spend
They
it
really
on
don't.
food. I donate food for our meetings. Whoever brings food to the meetings donates it.
Wow.
We
So-
don't spend people's money.
It goes
on-
directly to helping the community.
It goes
helping-
directly
Right.
towards defense of the
I can just say a
community.
personal story real quick. I was driving down Pico Boulevard and it was like past 11:30 at night, and there was this lady who had come out in the middle of Pico Robertson, so like oncoming traffic, and she was not well. I couldn't tell if she was Jewish or not, but I quickly called SHMIRA and they came and because I pulled over just to make sure she'd be okay, but I couldn't go into the middle of the street and cars didn't see her. It was very late, so she kept getting almost swiped by a car. I thought
Oh
she
my
was
gosh.
gonna die in front of me. I called SHMIRA. Within 4 minutes, a representative came and took her off the streets. I don't know where they put her, but they called me and told me that they took care of her. They found her home. she was overdosed on something, and they actually took her home on the spot. So
We are by far your fastest response.
fastest.
Yes.
Yeah, faster than
Amazing.
anybody except Hatsala.
There was like a guy breaking into people's houses right next door to me, and I called my brother-in-law Daniel. 2 minutes later, he was like, "I'm here with his son
Yeah,
Shlomi
is that the
They
one
were
that
there.
came, like, try to get into your house or something?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Wait, are you on Durango? The calling?
No,
night?
Swell.
Oh my gosh.
So please,
Yeah.
guys, donate. It's so important. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for your
And
time.
it's tax deductible. Please give as much as you can.
All right. Thank you
you.
guys. Thanks for listening.
Okay, wait, guys, we're not done yet. Shaina has a personal message that she wanted to.
Plug in here.
We had to go so fast over things and the progression of timelines in my life. I mentioned Kenneth Lowenstein for starting the SHMIRA here in LA. Avi Gordon took over after Kenny moved to Cleveland, and Avi gave his life for SHMIRA. Not his life literally, but his blood, sweat, and probably a lot of tears. No, he's too manly to cry. But he and Daniel Brom took it over after that, and now it's mainly, from what I see, there's a lot of people in the workings that deserve many credits, but actually out on calls, Shalom Yamini and Daniel Brom, I would say, are the two biggest supporters in all ways of SHMIRA now, and they deserve credit too. But Avi Gordon, it would be a big omission to not mention what he did for us in the intervening years before we came what we are now.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to our Mommy Life Squad podcast.
And stay tuned for the next episode.